Alright, so we have the title of the video is Atlantis and Magic. Okay, now I'm going to try to do my best to break this down into simple terms that basically anyone can understand. The people new to this information will be able to understand, and people that already know this information will enjoy listening to it. And so a lot of modern day problems that we have are, a lot of people say they'll say, oh well, like Harry Potter promotes witchcraft. These different shows that are popular, the movies that are popular. A lot of people will say that these types of movies and shows and such like this promote magic, and that's because a lot of the Hollywood directors, a lot of these people, they swear on Atlantean magic, and that's just a fact. Like you have Steven Spielberg. He swears by the Aleister Crowley, who is a magician. He swears his code on "do what thou wilt" being the whole of the law. Now, "do what thou wilt" being the whole of the law is misunderstood, because it basically means that your consciousness creates your surroundings, your life path, everything that happens to you in this world is meant to be. And I don't want to get into like a whole big thing about that. I'm just simply saying that you attract what you will, that type of thing. So that's what they mean basically by that, because you have the, like, if you are having a bad time, difficult time, you can go to the sacred sites, and these sacred sites are in South America. You have like Tikal, these different type of places. You have shamans that can cast spells. They can take the suffering away. These types of practices that essentially work for these different elements and all of this, and I'll explain why. Because you have the Emerald Tablets, were written by a fellow named by the name of Thoth, and Thoth was he was an Egyptian god, pretty much. He was an earth god, because in Atlantis, the civilization of Atlantis, they were essentially more focused on the earth magic. That's why, like, if you've ever seen any of the Harry Potter movies, any of the kids on Disney Channel, when they like take the wand and then they'll do it in a circle. Well, that's because in Atlantis the circle was very significant, and in Atlantis, as I said before, there was a fellow by the name of Thoth, and Thoth's magic name was Tahuti, and Tahuti was able to build these pyramids, and Tahuti would get information he would give information about these different projects that they could take. Like, he would instruct exactly how to build these pyramids, what foundation to use, what you build the apex first, because there's two parts of the pyramid. You have the apex of the pyramid, which is the top part, and then you have the base, structural base of the pyramid. So Tahuti would instruct these different folks how to build these pyramids, and in Atlantis they had their own pyramids and all of these types of different. They came up with the planetary grid, and so these pyramids could channel light essentially, and the pyramids can like communicate, and they can do all of these fancy nifty um, things that are beneficial. And so you would have the Atlanteans, um, like life in Atlantis. Atlantis lasted for 250,000 years, and the life in Atlantis was pretty good until about the end, because towards the end of Atlantis, it, it became like selfishness took over. Like bad vibes, man. That kind of stuff took over, where the different like the archons would come in, and they would like brainwash people the same way they brainwash people now, because like Christianity, Islam, Judaism, all of these different monotheistic religions were pretty much created by these archons, pretty much. And so what you would have is you would have these people that lived, and then you would have the archons come in and destroy Atlantis culturally. So Atlantis did sink from within. I mean, and it sunk literally, but it sunk literally because there was another civilization called Lemuria, and the Lemurians were in the Pacific Ocean, and they could like the children were telepathic, which means that they could communicate to each other via channeling, sort of like how people talk on cell phones. These people could talk with their minds. That's what telepathy is. And so in Lemuria they were telepathic, and Lemuria and Atlantis had a nuclear war. The same way I talked about last time, how there was a nuclear war on Mars. There's been many different nuclear wars within the different galactic celestial sphere, and so that's how Atlantis was destroyed. But this information and this knowledge, there were a lot of people from Atlantis that kept this knowledge about the higher self, and so they took it to these different places. They took it to South America. They took it to obviously the Great Pyramids, and so Thoth was known as he's known as the King of Atlantis, but you can see his influence in like South America. Like they have the different, as I said before, the different shamanic sites where people can go and they can become spiritually pure on mounds and stuff. And then you have the archons, which are from the Archon Alliance, and they try to come down and feed off of the negative, because emotions are the most important thing, guys. And like David Hume talks a lot about this. Reason is a slave to the passions. Basically, your emotions create most of what happens to you in this form. So if you're existing at higher emotions like love, cooperation, friendship, these types of emotions, happiness, your divine path and all of that, when you're judged by when you're judged in the halls of mankind by Thoth or Tahuti, this is why these emotions are it's much better to live with higher based emotions than the lower base emotions. Like lower base emotions are like fear, guilt, anger, all that type of stuff. So I hope I explained Atlantis a little bit, and Atlantean magic, and hope to see you guys again. Bye bye.